Hi, Leanne Donahue-Tamplin here, and today I wanted to talk to you about endless, relentless challenges. And I had to come up with a different word to shit, but really that's what we're talking about, endless, relentless shit that happens in your life. This is those times when you just think you've got on top of one huge problem and then another one comes along and you think, oh, how could I handle anything else? And then something else happens. It's kind of like that you're running in front of a train, it just keeps catching up to you. It's a really difficult place to be. There's something I'm familiar with myself, as well as I know many of the women I work with are also very familiar with that place. Difficult time to be in and something you have no control of. And I think that's one really important part of this, is to not blame yourself for this situation, and also to not think it's all about you, that this doesn't happen to anyone else, it only happens to me. I promise you, from the 20 years of working with people, that this happens to a lot of people. So you don't have to feel like you're alone. I suppose the things that I do when I'm in that place is, to start with, I do some things that make me feel good. So it might be doing meditation. It might be getting an inspirational book and reading that. It might be even one I've read before. It might be watching movies that make me feel good, that make me feel inspired or motivated. And those things seem to reinvigorate my drive that I can get on top of things. So try and work out what that is for you. For some people, that is being in nature. So they might go and walk in bush settings, or lay on the beach and just kind of contemplate the world. Just take some time out and just get that drive back that says, I can do it, I can do it. The next thing that I do in those situations is that I focus on what I've got to do. So I've got to get to work, or I've got to get the kids to school, or I've got to get the groceries. What have I got to do? What do I have to do? And I get those things done. And I don't do anything else. So I don't go out and write myself off or distract myself with things to take my mind off it. I don't do anything that will take me away from the situation, because I think what happens is you have a bigger crash when you come back to it. So I actually think it's much more about doing that thing about meditation or time in nature, inspirational things that make you feel like you can get on top of this and you're not alone. That might include talking to people about the situation, whether that be a psychologist or a social worker or someone else that you're working with, or it might just be a good friend that is a really good listener. But as well as that, it might sound a bit strange, but I always tune in to what I'm doing well. So I said before in other videos that my mum was very good at pulling out the tiny things you did and being amazed by them. How did you get that done? I can't believe you could do that. And it didn't matter if I said everybody does that. She would say, no, that's amazing, and you're wonderful to be able to do that. So I actually do those things to myself. So I'll I did good getting through the kids' morning routine this morning and not biting anybody's head off because I'm so exhausted. I'm really glad I went and sat in that place that makes me feel peaceful. And it was hard for me to go, and I didn't really want to, but I did a really good job going, and it was really good for me. So just tune into those little things. It doesn't matter how small, and notice them and say what a great job you're doing with them. I think if you do those things for a little bit of time, you'll find that it will change. It won't always feel so overwhelming. It might, sometimes the the dramas or the problems or the shit that you're dealing with goes on for a long period of time. But there are times, episodes of when it's overwhelming, and other times when you feel like you can cope. So in those times when it's completely overwhelming and feels relentless, it's those times that you then do those three things that I was just saying. You know, something that helps you feel reboot and know that you can get through it. Focus on getting through the small things and just getting the basic jobs done. And then thirdly, really pay attention to your successes and what you're doing really well, and remind yourself how great you're doing to be getting through this difficult time. No, you're not alone, right? Happens to all of us. No one's immune, and it will pass. All right. Thanks for listening. Talk to you again soon.